Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about elections in India. India is one of the largest democracy in the world. So elections that which is democratic have the following five general principles that is followed in case of India. First, universal suffrage, which means everyone has the opinion, that is one man, one vote and has one value. Second, adult suffrage means above 18 years are eligible to cast their vote. Third is parliament to make enable legislation, means it is the duty of the parliament to make the legislation to conduct the election. For example, they have made Representative of People's Act of 1950 and 51, which empowers the Election Commission of India as well as provides some guidelines to the political parties and the electorals the manner to cast their vote. Fourth, power of the state legislature. State legislatures has also they also have the power to make rules or make legislation, make law for the Election Commission of India only for those matters over which Parliament has not made any law or if any aspect left behind. Fifth is bar to interference by court in electoral matter. Court cannot interfere in election procedure of India. Delimitation Commission report is immune to judicial review. What delimitation commission do? Basically, it as India is a very big country, so this delimitation commission divide the India into small constituencies. These are known as territorial constituencies on the basis of population, area and many other things. From where the major political parties or the regional candidates give their nomination and fight for the election. If there is election dispute, then state as per the RPA, Representatives of People's Act 1951 states that the stated authority will resolve the disputes, for which what RPA said, the respective high court within 45 days of the voting by the voter on the candidates can file the complaint to the respective high court. What empowers the India to conduct, or how can we value the democracy of India in terms of elections? First thing, the elections should be independent. Having independent election, it means the election should be fair and free, and the result of election should be accepted in the society. Peaceful transition of power. All these four characters democratizes the election in India. Now let us see the structure of election in India. It is further classified into central and state. Under central, it can be further classified for the president election and for the parliament election. For the president election, there is indirect election where common citizen cannot cast their vote. On the contrary, their representatives cast their vote. But in case of parliament, it is as parliament has two houses, upper house and lower house, or the Raj Sabha and Lok Sabha. For the upper house or the Raj Sabha, there is indirect election. The methodology of indirect election is somewhere different from a direct election that we will see in some other videos. For the Lok Sabha election, the election is election is conducted in each 5 years, which are known as general election, that we are going to have in 2024 this year. Similarly, in case of state, again there is, though governor is directly appointed by the president, so there is no any election for the governor. But there are some states in India which has two house for the state legislature, legislative assembly and legislative council. For legislative council, again there is indirect election, or the system of legislative council selection is somewhat different from the legislative assembly election. For the legislative assembly election, there is direct election, and which are known as state election or Vidhan Sabha election or legislative assembly election, for which people elect their MLA, member of legislative assembly. But my main target is to focus on 2024 general election, which is Lok Sabha general election, for which people will cast their vote for 543 seats. And these elected political parties candidate or the politicians will be called Member of Parliament, MPs. 543 represent the number of seats in the Lok Sabha as well as the total number of constituencies in India. Now, before as the Election Commission of India come up with the dates and phases, from that same date Model Code of Conduct have been imposed. Now let us see what is Model Code of Conduct. Model means standard, code means norm, and conduct means behavior. It is as simple as it means it is the behavior, it is the norms or the rules for the behavior that is considered as standard during the election procedure. During the electoral process, why it has been imposed? To maintain level playing field. Now let us see how it maintains the level playing field. It focuses on 8 areas. First, meetings. Local police must be appraised about the time and the place in order to maintain law and order. Procession. The route should be known to the local police with no arm and no burnings. Polling booth, polling day, observers are kept for these are the neutral agents sent by the Election Commission of India to conduct free and fair elections. Ruling party members are also under surveillance except Prime Minister and CM. Manifestos. General conduct of everyone during the election is under high surveillance. Now, what brings the Model Code of Conduct? It is basically the consensus between the consensus-based agreement between Election Commission of India and major political parties in 1985. No other countries had such. Now, how can we justify Model Code of Conduct, or what is the success of Model Code of Conduct? It is success of Model Code of Conduct is based on working of Election Commission of India. That is stringent action by Election Commission of India. It means stop and take to the court soon after the Model Code of Conduct withdrawn within 45 days. Swift action by Election Commission of India, neutral and impartial election, it is being successful till date because of being impartial. Election Commission of India. What are the positives of moral code of conduct? First is very clear, it maintains the level playing field. Ruling party cannot brainwash. Democracy will be seen in real sense, which signifies or which consequently leads to the acceptance of poll results. Yes, it is because of the model code of conduct, though there is some negative as well. Pendency of cases, and means during the code of conduct, the urgent development of work has been stopped. Now we are listening about Election Commission of India is doing this, Election Commission of India is doing that, Election Commission of India. What is Election Commission of India? It is a constitutional body constituted under Article 324, which makes it watchdog of real democracy and independent body. Its work is to superintend, give direction and control the election process. The Election Commission of India has the composition of one chief election commissioner and two election commissioner. Both are appointed by the president. First election commissioner of India was Sukumar Sen, who take decisions. The body of Election Commission of India takes decision unanimously, but in case if there is disagreement, then the majority is followed, that is 2:1. If again something happened, then casting vote of the chief election commissioner will be the final. How we can judge the independency of any body? First is for the Election Commission of India, constitutional provision, statutory provision and conventions. Let us have litmus test on these bases. If we see the constitutional provision, then Article 324 subclause 5 states that the removal of chief election commissioner will be equivalent to Supreme Court judge, plus service condition cannot be charged to this disadvantage. If we look at the statutory provision, we will found in 1991 Parliament has made law for Election Commission Act 1991, which states that chief election commissioner be on the office for 6 years or 65 years, whichever is less, and rank and status will be equivalent to Supreme Court judge, as it already has mentioned in the constitution also. Now convention is this: all the civil servant, either retired, are appointed as the chief election commissioner. Now, what are the powers and functions of Election Commission of India? Are it allot election symbol to the political parties, issue model code of conduct, post-election disqualification if any, setting the campaign expenditure and monitoring the same. This is what Election Commission of India is. Now let us have some data of election in India. World's largest election exercise is held in India. And in 2024, 1 billion people from the world is going to cast their vote. That is in India. 28 states, 8 union territories, 968 million voters are going to cast their vote. Yes, seriously. This time, 2024, India's general election is in the 7th phase for 44 days from 19 April to the 1st June, longest till date. For the larger states like UP, Bihar, West Bengal, these are in 7 phases and others in 1, 2 or 4 phases. 543 politicians will be elected as an MPs. In India, there are 6 national parties, 52 plus state parties and 231 plus unrecognized parties. This is the beauty of democracy, which praises the multi-party system. Everyone has the right to have their opinion, has the right to fight for being the candidates, to be able to sit in the parliament and represent the people of India. Election Commission has said every voter should be at 2 kilometers from the polling stations. It is not a joke. Means 500 million machines have been ready for this year election. 1 million polling booths have been made. 15 million polling personals, including our Jawans, police, everyone, duty members. And the cost of election is expected 10 to 15 billion dollar, which include campaigning of political parties, expenditure of the office, preparation of the electoral rolls, charges for conducting elections, issue of photo ID cards. And now let us see what is the voting percentage that Indian citizens are responding to it. For this much heavy expenditure, heavy arrangement by the government, by the Election Commission of India, and it is the money of the people, what we are paying as a tax. In 2014, voting turnout was 66.4%. In 2019, it is just 1% more, 67.4%, and that was the highest till date. Means 100%, forget about 100%, even 90% people are not coming and casting their vote. It should be understood by each and every one of us. Forget about voting as a fundamental right or constitutional right or anything or legal right. First thing it should come up in our mind, it is our duty. It is the festival of democracy, and it can be celebrated only by casting our vote, not by merely blaming to any political party or any government. It is you or it is we who decide for formulating our policy, for formulating the rules, for utilization of our resources, of the roads that are built, of the buildings that are built, the infrastructure that we are getting, the education system that we are having, the facilities that we are getting from the government side is all because of us, not because of them, because we are the people who is deciding or selecting or electing them. By just 6 average is, I would take till date, the average would be 60%. What about the rest 40% people are doing? They are not casting their vote and demanding better qualities. Even they are not being represented in the parliament. Forget about to whom are you voting, whether the party is winning or losing. At least you should go and cast your vote. It's the moral duty of being a democratic citizen. The reality of democracy or the real democracy can be witnessed only on the day of election. because this is the power that has been given by our constitution to us to show the real report card of the parties, to know about their ideologies. I urge everyone to must read the manifestos of each and every political parties, and whenever they come to your door, ask them for their manifestos. What are their promises? What are their vision for India? Analyze them, observe them. Then must cast your vote. Election Commission of India has also felt that people are not casting their vote because they are not interested in nominated candidates. So they come up with the option none of the above. Again, it is the option to make people know that it is not compulsory, it is not mandatory that if you will vote, then you have to vote to any political party. If you don't like, don't press button in front of any political party. There is an option, note down. But at least cast your vote. Voting is more important, not to whom, though it is also important to whom are you voting, but at least our focus should be democracy should be enjoyed in 100%. It's too long today. No issue. Thank you very much.